It's been a good. It's been a really good trading session. The market has been volatile. The market has been moving a lot. As far as the news, there's been a lot of news events happening in the marketplace. So I really want to just come on and share what I'm seeing in the market moving forward for tomorrow, what I'm seeing in the markets tonight as well for the London session, and at the same time, just give you guys a perspective of what the educators have been seeing and what they've put my eye on, right? And what I always like to give it back to the educators. They're the main reasons. They're the main reason I've been able to, acquire the skill set of really reading the charts, being able to have a good understanding of the smart money concepts, right? The smart money concepts, all that was learned through the bounce back boot camp or the study course by John Dollery on the Forex Pro Pack. I always like to give it back to that, so you guys know that as I'm showing you guys these different markups and charts, right? Oftentimes, what will happen is that I'm feeding myself from information from these different educators that I just mentioned right now, right? So my main objective for this session is for you guys to have fun, for us to be able to come together, look at charts, look at ideas that I'm looking at, and if you guys have ideas yourselves, right? You guys have charts, you guys or have marked up, or you guys have an idea of, feel free to share those charts in a group chat. Or not in the group chat, but I don't know why I keep saying group chat, but share them in the chats of Zoom, and I'll be able to really go ahead and take a look at them and give my perspective on it. And if there's something that you could potentially change or add improvement to, I'll help you add that improvement. But me, the way I trade is Wyckoff and smart money concept, and I just want to make sure everyone has that clear. If you're brand new to watching my session of the pre-London live analysis, a lot of what I'm going to show you guys may not make sense. It may go against your strategy, but all I want to ask you to do is be patient with me, right? And be open-minded to learning something new. But if what I'm showing you today is not for you, and what you have already is working for you, don't change what's working already, right? Just add this on and learn this skill set, this way of working in the marketplace, right? So I'm gonna get right into it. And look at the hot pairs that we all like to look at, right? I'm gonna look at the London pairs right now. All my pound pairs are often in my green folder, right? Let me see. I want to make sure. Can everybody see the screen big enough? I want to make sure one has the ability to see the screen on a wide scale. Awesome. I believe everyone should be able to see that properly. All right, I'm going to start with GBP CAD pound versus the CAD. And we're on a daily time frame now. I believe I broke this down early on last week. Weekly time frame, we found this weekly last down candle before the up move. And I want to zoom in here. I'm seeing a lot of downtrending marketplace. So I was looking for potential retracement. I keep selling at the beginning of the week. And as I move down to lower time frames, you guys can see kind of what happened now. 4 hour. On a 4 hour, we can see we ended off the week. Market moved sideways. We came up. We broke up. We seen a structure break, and we seen market potentially wanting to climb back up. This is just what I'm seeing from my perspective, from my eyes. Let me go ahead and turn off the camera. I want to focus to be on full on the charts and not on myself at all, right? As far as, when we're just going about looking at it, we have the 4 hour last down candle here. I use my Fibonacci to identify the 50%. And because in the smart money in Wyckoff, we like to, once we identify the accumulation and distribution, we like to enter off of the last down candle before the prior movement. And as you can see, some could argue with me that yes, it's this candle, and you wouldn't be incorrect in saying so, right? And some can argue with me that it's this candle. But so far as this pair concerns, I decided to enter off the opening candle, which is right here today. And we're able to catch a beautiful move right here of a 5-to-1 risk reward, which means a risk to one app would obtain 5 times more. And I believe I posted this in the various group chats that I'm a part of for everyone to be able to take advantage of. And that was an easy move, opening price entry, right? With an easy, 24 pip stop loss. And that trade itself hit easily 100 pips. That was not the entry, excuse me, guys. This was the entry. So that hit easily 98 pips deep, right? I didn't even get updated to that point. Like I secured a majority of my profits at this point. That's why it's important to secure partial profits once you're at least 50 plus pips deep. Now we're back at this 4-hour last down candle, right? Why I identified that? Because what happens oftentimes that once it hits that area, we tend to have a bounce, a reaction. And I'm expecting that bounce reaction for us to bring for price to come back to, hitting this major level. Already here, I was expecting price to stop. Like I wasn't expecting price to go all the way to this point because I knew there was a major imbalance potentially here. Price could pause within this imbalance section here or within this point of interest. But now, given that we've made it all the way back down here, price has two things that it can do. Hold this level, and we could buy from this level right here, right? So we can buy from this level right here, right? This would be 50%. A stop loss will be below the low, right? And that's about like 29 pips, right? If you put stop loss below this low. If you drag your stop loss below this low now, right, you're looking at 40 pips, and your initial TP, right? Your initial TP, as we're looking at it right now, if you're now looking at this, right, and I wanna remind you guys something. Remember proper risk management. You guys are gonna notice that I have Nash market right here open. Because it's important to know what you're going to risk before you actually enter the marketplace, and so that you're aware of what you're going to lose. Right, I'm risking 1 to 5% depending on how confident I am in the account I'm building up. Right, so I'm risking 1 to 5%, and on here I would go about. This will be the gray numbers, always my point of entry. We're currently at entry. I like to take these trades like when we're in London. Excuse me, hold on. Let me plug in my phone, make sure my everything is down right now. Okay, great. So I would like to get in here. We're not London session quite as yet, so I want to see if price can potentially go lower, and they could give us a lower point of interest, right? But already, what's a lower point of interest would be like maybe 50% of this 30-minute candle here, right? And at that point, maybe your stop loss could be down below. And the tighter your stop loss, right, the smaller your stop, in the sense if you were to enter here and our stops was here, that's like 18 pip stop loss, 12 to 1 risk reward idea. It could go clear equal highs here, or just make it into this point of interest right here, at least. That's what gives us an 8 to 1, 155 pips, which anybody just catches this move, they're happy, they're good for the week just off of this move alone. I'm pretty confident it's going to take place, given how market it's kind of panned itself out. We took the break, and this is a 4-hour test, right? At most, we could leak into this last down candle here, and if we did that, your stop loss would now be below this. So just keep your eye in this area for you to be able to come in scope. But if you're someone you're busy, you don't have time to be on the charts, and you just want to set it and forget it. You don't want to waste too much time with it. You don't want to play with it. This is the coordinates you want. You just want to get in on that 4-hour last down candle. Don't waste your time with it. Put your stop loss below these lows. Aim for your target and ready, set, go. Right? There's no overcomplicating it. There's no more simpler than that. That's why I like these sessions. Is just so I can just put my perspective on paper for you guys. You guys to be able to see it and have an understanding. I just want to make sure that this setup, it's clear for everybody. Everyone has an understanding of it, and it's already within our group chats as well. So I'm sure everyone can go ahead and take advantage of it. So let me know in the chats if you guys are loving this setup. You guys plan to take advantage of it, or dropping your favorite number of your choice in the chat box. So let me see right here. What's the next setup I got? I'm going to go to NAS 100, and XPX, NAS 100 and XPX. So 4-hour time frame. Today was a really fun and interesting day. So I'm just gonna dissect it for you guys. Let me just erase. Let me actually not erase. I'm just go ahead and and do it for you guys right here. So 4 hour time frame, I'm seeing an accumulation. Like NAS has been an overall sell. We cleared out these equal lows right here. Let me go on a daily so you guys can have perspective. We just cleared out equal lows, and after clearing out equal lows, market needs to do some pullback, and it's normal, only right. Not equal lows cleared, pulled back up, moving sideways. Now it's looking to break again, right? So when I see things like that are about to happen in the market, it just makes me want to do some research on, just grab proper perspective. So I'm seeing this last down candle here for the up move on a 4 hour. My keynote of observation is just to, okay, let me make sure that that one is noted, it's spotted, I'm aware it's there. So if anything comes into it, I know it's an automatic reaction. So was I able to catch that move? No, I wasn't. That move happened so fast. I had no notion of time when it actually moved, right? And even on a previous week, I had mentioned, if you go back to my last session on my YouTube video, I mentioned from this last up candle, we're gonna get a drop off, right? And anybody who actually pays attention and listened, we cashed out huge, right? And then the market, did its thing, and it did what it did today. But what it did today was expected of, because we knew news was going to be the excuse for price to move. Now, how much is price going to move? Is price going to move beyond this? And even if it moves beyond this, we know what do we have here? We have imbalance here. So we have clear areas where price would easily go to and then come right back down, right? Because at the end of the day, what we're looking for is a lower high position in the marketplace. So if we're looking for a lower high position, let me just give you guys a perspective. So this already happened, lower high, right? We hit 50%, dropped, right? We didn't come back to balance out. So price may decide to come and balance these areas. Right? I'm just pointing things out to your eyes. My eyes see it, right? But I believe some people's eyes don't see it right away. So it's good to point it out. So I'm aware, since we're rising, this is probably where we want to rise to, right? These zones we want to rise to. It could even be this imbalance, but we can tell these wicks have already filled into portions of this imbalance here. So I want to zoom into even lower time frame now, right? We can delete this because we don't need this no more. And as we zoom into lower time frame, we have now even more perspective on the matter. And we could see here, I was looking for price to potentially, give me that reaction off of this point of interest by today. I was hoping to be on this call and this would happen, but that's not what happened. Price actually cleared out the equal highs, and price went for, last up candle for the down move right here. And we're still maintaining the structure of this last 4 hour institution that was here, right? And also we're still maintaining this lower high structure here. And we were slightly higher than this one. So it just gives me more proof of potential more up move. But I'm seeing, okay, is price gonna retrace? Does price want to just do a little pullback, in a sense where what I mean by pullback is move sideways here, sideways moving market, and then give us like a drop off where it could come and fill these imbalances that are right here in price, and then move on about its business. But I have to also realize time and price. Time and price has a big impact on that. And wherever New York session took off, all of this somehow, some way, these wicks are not gonna they're not gonna be left untouched. I don't believe they are, right? They're not going to be left untouched. And these imbalances are not going to be left untouched. It's a matter of where and when. So now I'm going to zoom into lower time frame, see, okay, let's do more research. All right, lower time frame, we see news came in and stole everything everybody had, right? Let me go over here. Oh, whoops, I got the wrong tool. Go ahead over here and delete all of this. So we saw money come and clear this. We saw the market come and clear this equal. So these equal highs, right? We saw all these things get taken out. Money got taken out there. Money got taken out on both sides. Right now, I would just love to expect a pullback, right? Simply so. I would just love to see a pullback. Anything into this last down candle here, right? Price is moving sideways, so it's getting ready to break down lower or break up higher, right? But just for the sake of what we broke out and we have not tested yet, price may do that. But in a sense, also let's give it a real perspective where price here broke structure. The wick here broke the structure. We held in this area after that. Wick broke that structure. Price came back in the deep, filled imbalances, and started to take off. Now, can we still get another touch? Yes, we can. We just matter of being patient and just waiting for it to land where you want it to land. So perspective wise, we have clear imbalances here. I like to use these lines to identify it because it just makes it a little bit more cleaner for my eyes. All right, makes it a little more cleaner for my eyes. And I'll just do a 110 like this and balance. So I know it's there and we know it's there now, right? So we know it's there. Price can react off of 50% of it. That would be the point of entry. Or price can react off of the opening of this imbalance, and that would be also a point of entry. Because at the end of the day, all that is doing is testing our previous point of interest. Because if we look back to it on a 1 hour, what was our point of interest? Is this. All price really needs to do is come back and test this area, which is also the beginning of an imbalance. Price needs to just come and test this previous last candle for the down move, test it and go for the buy. Like truthfully and honestly, that's really all it takes. And if it were to do that, stop loss would be at that low at the beginning of that other imbalance right here. That was on the 15 minutes, right? That's about, we're looking about 36 points. And your TP is like above of this. If it really wants to strike above this, your first initial TP would be above this liquidity. Why am I looking at this? Is because price looks to rebalance or search and destroy for liquidity. So right above here, equal highs, that's liquidity, that's money sitting there here as well. So this should be what we should be seeing, right? If we're to see a continuation, this would be very much so probable for us to get into that section. But I'd like to see, I'm favoring a pullback, a retracement into, at least that's 1 hour, or this imbalance. And if it gets this imbalance, we're now entering off of, 50% of the imbalance, right? All right, and now, or the opening price, and then we're taking it all the way up. And like in these trades, you can either wait for the big setup, or you can, when price comes here, you can scalp your way up, right? I'd rather enter one big position for the way up and scalp once I've broken structure. Every time price breaks structure, I'm gonna scalp it. So here we broke this level. I know price needs to come back and test according to the logic and the ways that we trade, right? Price needs to come back and test that point of interest for it to keep going about it business. Does it have to? It doesn't, but generally it does, right? So I'm looking forward to that. And the same play that we're seeing here, we're going to see that across the board. If I go jump over to XPX, I jump over to US 30, we're going to see similar ideas. So now let me just jump down to lower time frame. I want to make sure we all got this clear, right? NAS 100. Price, test in, run. Test in, run. This test here might be premature. It may be premature, right? Ideally, we always want these, if you could get an entry within this wick, that would be the most ideal. But if price decides that it doesn't want to go all the way down there, don't wait for price, right? But also realize that between now and Friday, having this here, it's possible that price could just decide to sweep, hit it, and go about his business. Hit there, hit here. It's just a matter of just setting an alert and letting price come to you and then reacting on what price is doing, right? I can tell you, give you all these zones, but you just need to wait and react, right? Wait and react, and on top of that, we're going to update it all together as leaders in our various group chats that we're involved in a trade with, right? So that was it for NAS 100. I'm going to step right over to XPX 100, XPX 500. And we're going to notice a similar thing before I jump right into BTC. Whoa, there's a lot going on this chart. Give me a second. All right, so 4 hour, let me just delete the whole chart. You know what? Let me just delete the whole chart. So you know what? 4 hour time frame here, we see market cleared equal lows. Liquidity got swept. All right, declared indication of institutional order flow, last down candle for the prior movement. So I like to look for. These days, my eyes not too focused everywhere. My eyes pretty focused on one area, right? 4 hour. I like to identify these just so I have a section to focus on. And big accumulation that happened here. Price jumped. Is price going to give us the pullback before continuation? Who knows? But if it does, we're going to be able to catch it. But if it doesn't, I just say jump over to 1 hour and already here 4 hour time. We're seeing it, right? So imbalance here on a 4 hour, imbalance here to here. This was filled, right? So what's the next step? Deeper into this imbalance. That's just like that. That's on a naked eye view. That's what I'm seeing. On a naked eye view, that's definitely what I'm seeing. So could price move to there? Yes, it can. Could price react there and decide to retrace? Yes, it can too. It could move up and then retrace back lower. Price can do absolutely whatever it wants to do, to be honest, right? For 2 hour time frame now. Now we're on the 2 hour. Now, mind you, now on the 2 hour, we just broke. We're about to break above this point of interest properly. Like the wick already did. We closed below it. Like price is uncertain of what he wants to do. Already here on the 2 hour, we broke and closed above of this whole section here. So that was not like we had a break structure here. So that indicated bullish movement on the 2 hour time frame already. So are we waiting for a test back? What's going on? Are we not sure? Already here, okay, we had a 1 hour last down candle. After the break of structure, price came back in and tested, filled this imbalance here, filled this as well. Price held, price held this area perfectly, guys. But it's not about the move that we missed. But why am I referring back to these moves? It's just so that we can go back and reassess it and play exactly what happened and follow up with the movements, right? And here we have that last point of interest, right? That point of interest, that last up candle before the down movement, right? And which gives us the area where, we see potentially price to come back. Now it's the 1 hour point of interest. Right there, so that's exactly where price can come right back to. Like I like to just identify these areas so I'm aware, one, but so I can know when price comes back in. Test continuation, because this is an original point of interest for the sell-off that we thought, right? If it would have maintained a lower high structure right here, right? Because when we're selling, what we're looking for what? Lower highs, lower lows. That's all we're looking for. So what was this? This is a lower high. We got a lower low down here. This is a lower high. We got a lower low down here. We got another lower high right here. And we got a lower low all the way down here. Right? And the structure just keeps following itself. Now, is this going to pull up and give us a new lower high that's here? Or is it just going to create that new high and come back and create a higher low? And, the cycle changes, because so far this looks like the cycle is changing and we're looking bullish, but on the higher time frame we're still overall bearish, and we still want some lower time frame structure to happen. So I just like to make sure I paint that vision for you guys, show you guys what I'm seeing, and just make you guys become a little bit more observant towards how the chart is being played and how the market is playing its own game as well, right? So as one of the lower time frames, everything seems equally traded into. So I'll just be expecting a test here and go, right? Test and go. Same thing like NAS 100 would be something of the such. I wouldn't move on 1 hour so I can know exactly. So I wouldn't take it any lower than the previous imbalance. So if I go on 15 minutes, I'm about to identify an imbalance area of where I could get in. So this whole area is area. And a lot of times I mentioned 50%. How do I know what's 50% of an imbalance? Simple. Use a GAN box, right? In the educational material, they teach us that you can either use a GAN box or Fibonacci tool or just a box like this, a rectangular box. And your point of entry is going to be 50% of the box, right? I like to measure it out. I like to use my ruler. Okay, 50% of the box. How many pips am I actually risking? I'm risking 160 pips. 16 points on XPX is the equivalent of risking 160 pips to obtain XYZ amount. And at the end of the day, what we want to acquire is having a good risk reward that's over a 3-to-1 and a 5-to-1. So if I put my position of entry right here, and my stop is in this area now, right? I'm risking roughly about 150. Is that so? Yeah, roughly 160 pips. Yes. And I want to make sure I stretch this out till it goes all the way to I'm risking 3-to-1. You see? I'm risking 1 to gain 3 times more, or I'm risking 1 to gain 5 times more. And that's beyond this. But is that really where we want our target to be? Like, let's be realistic. We saw a lot more for ourselves when on target. And then we saw our target could potentially rise all the way to here, right? That's a 1,000 pip move for a 1 to 6 risk reward idea. Now 50% of that imbalance is about here. That's a 7-to-1 risk reward idea. And if it blows right over and decides to go clear this liquidity, which is also possible, we're looking at a 1,700 pip move, right? Off of XPX alone. You choose which one you want to play with, but do you have to catch the whole thing? No, you don't have to catch the whole thing. Just catching a 3-to-1 or 5-to-1 is enough. Catching a 5-to-1 of XPX will double your account alone, right? You catch 1,000 pips on this, just to this high, you're doubling your account without a doubt, right? To be honest, and it's worth risking 1% here, and you take the loss, right? And then you can risk another 1% here, this opening with this imbalance, and then another 1% here. That's what I do. Do you have to do that? No, you don't. But I find that it's worth it, so that's why I do so, right? So that's it on XPX and NAS 100. Very, very similar ideas. I'm speculating for price to, give us that retracement. So give the price, give us that retracement into these areas, and then make a move as it wants to make its move. Be cautious, be patient, and just wait for the move to come to you. Like, the money is there, it's all ours, but just be patient and come. Like, these days, I'm not trading a lot of pairs because I realized what pairs really work and what pairs listen to the way I look at the market, right? The way my perspective moves in the market. I now understand what pairs do what I like, right? So I focus on those same ones. So every week you guys are gonna hear me speak on a lot of the same pairs, unless you guys bring up a pair to me that I'm not familiar with and I don't trade on a weekly basis. So I just went over XPX for y'all right now, and then I went over NAS 100 as well. Okay, if you guys have some Forex pairs that you guys trade yourselves, feel free to share it. Feel free to let me know, and I'll definitely go check those pairs out. I have a couple more pairs myself I want to take a look at. I want to take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum. But before I jump into Bitcoin and Ethereum, let me go ahead and look at gold really quickly, because I know you guys are probably, some of you guys are wondering, well, Ralph, what's your idea on gold? What do you see? And as far as what I'm seeing on gold, this is what happened this morning. Let me zoom into what I was seeing this morning first and foremost. Right, so this morning on gold, I was seeing a potential area where we can now sell off of this last up candle, because mind you, but this morning, all this wasn't here, right? So this wasn't here either. I saw this last up candle, like identified. I'm like, if you get a test, I can get a drop off, right? But before we can even get a test, the market started selling before I even had a chance to drop it on the group chat. So I just sold with it. When market came back up. I believe I had a position at the 80 areas right here. At the 80 areas, market blew right past it. Potentially, I'm hoping that market, will give us that sell off because yes, DXY is bullish. I'm gonna do it all this. I was still hoping on a 4-hour perspective for this last down candle here before the move. And GBP USD for sure. We about to get to those New York pairs right now. So on this last down candle, I was hoping for this to catch this so I can ride a wave up. That was the perspective I was looking at, but that did not quite pan out the way I wanted it. The real market is moving right now. Market seems to be moving pretty price and going at a fast paced way. It's looking like this. I like to look at these last up candles for the down move and potentially where price could be going, right? So seeing that could be a point of interest. Excuse me, that moved a little too fast. So seeing that this last 4-hour candle could be a point of interest, 50% of it. I'll go ahead and gladly identify 4-hour last up candle for down movement. And I'll also go ahead and identify what do I see also on a 1 hour within that price. So what is this right here? So this point of interest, we saw price clear liquidity here. So that's the only thing that makes it valid is the fact that price cleared liquidity prior. Right? You see that specific candle? Price just came in, cleared all the money I was sitting here, liquidity. That's what makes it valid for us to be like, you know what? Okay, this is the opening price. We can get a test. Okay, tested already, but now we can get a 50%. Price so far seems to be rising towards that 50% zone as it is, right? So now, since price is working towards that 50% zone, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, perspective. I need to be ready to catch the sell at the end of the week, right? Because right now we're buying, right? Maybe by Friday, non-farm payroll, we can catch the sell. Right? Non-farm payroll is pretty much NFT. Even a few pips above this, 50% of that candle, 50% of that candle right here. And that this is gonna be sexy. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This right here gonna be sexy, right? At least onto down here. At least bare minimum 15 to 1. That's the right idea. You probably will get stopped out a couple of times before this happens, right? But be cautious. We're not far from it, right? We are 150 pips, 160 pips from the top entry, and right now we are roughly 80 pips from this entry. So if you're up early, you're able to be up like around like that 6 a.m. to about like that 10 a.m. period. You can catch yourself nasty entries and be able to capitalize off of this whole movement, right? Now, some people are asking, well, how can I catch the buy going up? Can I even do that? Of course you can, right? Buy the break. So broke, market needs to come and test somehow, some way, somehow, right? So 2-hour point of interest. This looks like the obvious. Like to me, this is like the obvious place market would come and test, or market could just decide to play the 50%. Let's say we're on a 2-hour right now, we jump on the 1 hour. Market that can decide to just come and do this, right? Like I'll be honest with you guys, it can do. Market can be petty, right? Especially when it's on a volatile week. Look at this. I'm gonna go on Forex Factory real quick right here. Forex Factory on a volatile week, markets has a mind of its own. And no problem. Always a pleasure. All right. So market really has a mind of its own. We see here Thursday, we got pound news, 7 a.m. Crazy. We got right here, we got CAD news Friday, USD news as well, right? So this is to be expected of. So just given that, a lot of news in the marketplace, I'm seeing the market going to be volatile. We can drop off from there. We can catch a buy from down here as well. Ideally, that'll be the best. Or can you catch a buy from here, or you can catch a buy from right here, this point of interest. Let me try to show you guys. So there's a point of interest right here on a 15 minutes, right? And this would be clearing this liquidity, price coming down. Wherever price decides to pause, right? So on a 15, so if I do from high point to low point, and let's see, this is where price wants to pause, right? Fibs. Ideally, like I this is what I want. I want price anywhere within these areas, but like from the 71, 1873, right? Area all the way to this 1866. Yes, ideally that's what I'd want in the perfect world. But am I gonna get that in the am I gonna be able to get it? I don't know. I'm not sure. Right. But according to whatever the market is providing, I want to do my utmost best to be able to, execute within those areas and be able to be very, very much possible. Right. So this is on buy from there. As you see it, this whole zone is definitely a zone that everyone wants to keep an eye on for the buy up on gold. If not, as far as the sell is concerned, we're very, very close to being in a sell environment for gold. And you're going to see in the sell environment happen exactly the same way it happened here, right? You guys saw we were rising. Nobody thought the sell was going to happen, right? We were rising, and eventually the sell just tumbled right down. And, it did its thing, right? It did exactly its thing. Distribution, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower high, lower low, and then lower low again, and it's doing its cycle, right? This was an accumulation, price swept up, distribution. So it is the same thing over and over and over again that happens. It's just a matter of going to go train your eyes and being able to repetitively seeing these setups happen, right? So let me just go ahead and take a quick picture of this. I believe this setup is not yet dropped in the chats. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that a little later for you guys before I go to bed. Going right back to it in the market, I believe we were up next was GBP/USD, baby. So over here on GU, so GU is already doing this thing, baby. Nice. So I'm on a 4-hour time frame. Let's just make this short and sweet. Let me go on to DXY real quick because we as long as we know what's going on with the dollar, we can know what's going on with GU. So dollar drop, weakness, and a bullish sentiment. Like, let me just put this up here. I want to make sure everyone catches this real quick. I always have this up so everyone can know. A bullish expectation generally means USD XXX, right? UJ, USD CAD, USD CHF will go higher, correct? But in the event, right, where USD weakens, what happens? XXX USD, right, will go lower. EU will go lower, right? EU will go higher, excuse me, right? EU will go higher, G will go higher, NU will go higher. But the second you see the dollar get stronger, you want to expect these to just go the opposite direction. So now looking back at it, we're looking at GU, right? This is getting a little weaker. GU is supposed to be going up, correct? And that's what we got. We had today. We had that up move on GU, right? We had that up move on GU. We can go on a 4-hour time frame. We see that drop was your up move on GU, but now it needs to retrace, moving to this imbalance in these areas, and that would give strength. That would give strength to the marketplace all the way moving into this imbalance here on the 4-hour, right? That's still price movement, right? So zoom into it. We have this price movement that's right here. So I'm aware that we have this whole order block that price wants to move into, and price is most likely going to move into it now, right? Okay, so now jump right into GU. Now, being fully aware of all that happening, and on GU on a 4-hour time frame, we have a point of interest right here, 4-hour last down candle before that move, right? We had a pretty much a accumulation, right? Some kind of accumulation here, price swept the lows. It was a double, triple bottom, right? If I go on a 1 hour, I believe you can see it more clear. And as I identified that, I know this is a point of interest where price wants to strike. And as you can see on the 1 hour now, and if you go on a 2 hour, there's no good candle right here. So I gotta keep diving to the lower time frame until I see the best candle. So it was a 45-minute saying, it's not the best. 1 hour saying, this is not the best. But we get to see how market has swept, right? And even this whole last down candle here, we could potentially use that. But I just like to put it into perspective. Okay, we know, okay, this is the wick. We know this is where the imbalance is gonna start. Like if we gotta play something, we need to play at least the beginning of this, right? We need to play the beginning of this imbalance, and then we can leave room, for a stop loss that's below these lows, right? That's in the event that if price decides to just hold here and not go lower and become fully bullish, right? There's a lot of news, right? So I'm seeing this right now. There's a lot of news happening right now as well. There's a lot of news for GBP happening in the morning. I wouldn't set a limit. I wouldn't set a limit and just go to sleep on this. To be honest, I'd be making sure that I'm awake and seeing where I could potentially react with this. Because now I'm at this point, if GU gets really bullish, right, the way it's supposed to be bullish, I'm looking here on a 1 hour. I see a last up candle here. Last up candle here on a 1 hour. I'm identifying the 1 hour IC. This could be a potential test to sell, like because on a 1 hour, this is what I see. This is what happened. Let me just show you guys what I noticed happened. I didn't mark up the trends before coming here, so this is like fresh off, right? So imbalance, price tested imbalance, rejected, distribution happened, price not sold off. We may come back into this by the morning time. Like if I just turn on John Phibbs London New York Open, so exactly we should expect price to trade right back into here. Ideally, we want at 50%. Risk as low as possible, but price is going to go into the wick. So I always like to, jump down to lower time frame to find out what's in the wick. So when it gets there, I can actually catch it. I can catch that lower time frame movement. But if not, you have the sell here, right? Because if this sell doesn't pan, it's going to be this imbalance of a sell. It's going to be this imbalance is going to be 50% of it, and then the sell off. Because honestly, guys, let's be like best believer, DXY is still bullish. All they did was come and clear all of this liquidity. Now they have fuel and ammunition to run and sweep all these highs. Like, let's be real. Like, what's all this? Like, what's all this? It's money. Like, what's all that? That's money. So going back to GU, possibility on GU, buy here, to go up to there, potential sell right here to these positions. Tomorrow morning is definitely going to confirm and give us clarity on where we're going with it and what we want to see. But now moving forward, back to indices, and back to on Bitcoin and Ethereum as it is. Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're doing numbers. They're running out the gym. Over here, 30-minute time frame earlier today. That was a quick score, quick 300 pip score right there. Nothing more, nothing less. And they're coming back to break even afterwards at the end of the day. So now going back to it, 4 hour, 2 hour. I like to just scroll back, and if we're gonna go based off of what we see and what's going on in the marketplace, we notice this point of interest now is no longer 30-minute point of interest. It's now a 4 hour point of interest. Given that that's now a 4 hour point of interest on Ethereum, I'm expecting a test and go. So bare minimum, okay, this was a previous imbalance. Okay, great. So in that previous imbalance, we now have a opening candle here, a wick, right? So that wick is in a balance on its own on the 4 hour. That's the balance on its own on the 4 hour. Let's go see what's going on right here. investigate 2-hour time frame. So that's a 2-hour. Okay, perfect. Okay, so investigate right here. We see a 4-hour. Okay, that 1-hour point of interest falls in line with the 4-hour point of interest as well. Okay, great, wonderful. Okay, we see price may want to push slightly higher because we see this money here. There's money here on top of that. If we go on a daily, this is from last week. This is what I had identified last week. We had a point of interest right here. We have a daily last of a candle before the down movement, right? So we hit it, we sold already. We hit it now and again, we're blast right. Like we're most likely gonna blast right through it and make it all the way into this point of interest. So now jumping back in, does it make sense that price wants to do what it wants to do? Yes, if it decides to break and close. If it decides to break and close, let me go ahead and just identify this right here, 12 point interest. If price wants to break and close above of this, and it successfully does it breaks and closes above of this price, using Sean's strategy, we'd be able to just buy the break all the way up to the top. And you could potentially look for yourself when DXY gains back strength at this area. Right. Initially, that's what I was looking for last week. I just didn't know when it was going to happen, but since it sold off, I held off on that position. So now here you're looking at this. If we do break above this and we blow right past it, we go for this liquidity, I'd be looking for a sell either at the opening price here on Ethereum, 50%, being your stop loss, about 300 pip stop. Take it to imbalance. Like if we take it to imbalance, even take a low. Take it for a whole, roll your boat, like 27.20. That's a 10-to-1 risk reward idea. That's 3,500 pips. Right? 350 points is about 3,500 pips. Can that happen? Real quick? Yes, it can. We've seen it move 1,000 pips, 2,000 pips in a day like it was nothing. So what is really stopping it? Right? But definitely one thing I know for sure is this 2,000 pip move is bound to happen. That's opening price. If it doesn't give you that opening price, look to take the 50%, stop loss above the highs once again, and just make sure you're risking the bare minimum. You don't need to be risking over the top for you to make it happen, guys. You really don't need to be risking over the top for you guys to make it happen. If it comes into here, you're buying, right? If it comes into these areas, you're buying from those zones. I can zoom in again for you guys. If it comes into those zones, you're buying. Smart money entry, stop loss below the lows. Take it, like just take it up. You have it 3-to-1 risk, like 1 to 3 risk reward idea. That's about 1,000 pips. Right from down here, that's about to just this DIC. That's 1,000 pips just from. And if you get it from right here, if you enter at the 2-hour IC, your stop loss should be the 4-hour IC entry. That's about 23 pip stop, 230 pip stop, taking it all the way to these highs, right? All the way to this, equal high that's on top where the liquidity is. That's about 1,570 pips. So guys, ladies and gents, this is real life. This is what I'm waiting for. I would set alerts, or I wouldn't just jump in. I would set an alert and then execute once price makes it to my areas of interest of where I'd like to go ahead and participate in. So those areas are really key to me. They resonate to me. I'm loving it. I don't know if anybody else resonates with this, but if you guys do, shout out to y'all. I feel like this is pretty visual. The buy, clear buy, or clear sell. And something tells me on BTC we are going to be seeing similar. Yes, I'm going off of that the fact that okay, DXY, because we know what DXY is going to do. It's going to give us a pullback, right? Sign of strength is a pullback. And they give us a sell again, sign of weakness. So it allows everything that we want BTC to do to happen. But the second it gives strength, that's when BTC is going to start selling, right? So if it just gives us a pullback, right, and it weakens, if it just gives us a pullback to keep selling, that's when you would expect easily BTC to do, BTC and Ethereum to do exactly what we wanted to do, right? If it DXY weakens, we're going to see this going up. We're going to get our pullback, a wick or something for it to keep going up. If not, it just breaks and we buy the break using Shauna Wutoson's swipe point scalper strategy, right? So simply so, that's what I see on this particular pair. I believe, I think this is good for a picture. This is pretty picture perfect. Yeah, no, maybe so. Yep. So let me drop this right here. What time is it? We're right on time, right? Right on time. I ended off with BTC right here. And I'm going to touch on USD CAD before I hop off. I believe that's something that a lot of people are taking a look at. So BTC. So BTC, very similar play as Ethereum. Let me just go on Ethereum real quick so you guys can kind of mirror the play. You guys kind of see what's going on here. As I go to lower time frames on Ethereum, you guys can kind of see. So I'm going to jump right into BTC. We're going to see very similar ideas. I'm going to go on a 4-hour, start it off there. And these areas of point of interest, we clear these liquidity areas. We made it back to this daily IC point of interest. You know, if I go on a daily from the previous week, my previous recording show, it's very similar to what I just explained on Ethereum. So clear the highs, right? Potentially seek for this point of interest, giving us that lower high at that point in time. So at this time, I'd be looking to buy to whenever it gets there, we're gonna sell, right? Because I want this sell. I really want this sell, but because the market is currently buying, we need to do what the market is doing, right? And not the opposite of it. Right. I'm definitely gonna go ahead and drop off the setups in the chats as soon as the call is done. And I'm gonna post this recording on my YouTube channel right away the second we're also done the call as well. So right here on it, same thing. That's the daily point of interest. We have a 4-hour point of interest right here. Don't miss it. It's very, very visible. It's like it jumps right to your face, right? So point of entry for the sell would be really obvious point there, sell. Anywhere within the zone, opening price, 50% is a clear sell. Here we can delete this. We no longer need this. DIC, equal highs. If we want a 2-hour, now it's just a matter of catching a re-entry, right? For those of you guys who wanted to catch a re-entry, it's gonna be pretty tough. Here I'd marked up a 30-minute point of interest. I didn't have time to take it myself. So I'll be honest, I identified it because I believe I called out a sell here. And my take profit was down here, right? For the sell. Because I saw this. That was the only reason my take profit was down there. But as far as the buys that are available, if I turn on this, I get to see where the previous session happened. And we should expect a wick or some sort of wick into this order block, this point of interest. This whole area is a whole point of interest. It's a matter of finding the candle that resonates with the play. And you have to kind of go into various time frames before you actually find that specific candle. So right here, I'm seeing the last down candle on the 5 minutes. Right. I'm sure if I jumped into the Ethereum and all that good jazz, I would see the same candle on the 5 minute, be able to give me this kind of point of interest. So right here. Let's go. So right here off the 5 minutes point of interest, and there's an imbalance. So this whole zone is really it. M5, and I'll just write M5 IC, right? M5 IC, and just clear identification of imbalance within the zone as well. Just to keep me in perspective of what I want to see, what's coming up in the market. Market makes it there, we're gonna look to buy, of course. We're gonna look to buy if market can make it all the way down here. If it can, it can. If it can't, it can't. But I believe market can move 1,000 pips easily to get us what we want. And if it does move that much, we're gonna be able to catch a lot of pips, and the risk is very minimal. So if we can get an entry down here, 200 what? Okay, not that bad. That's actually good. 300 pips. So being able to enter even here at this point of entry right here, we have a 300 pip stop loss. And where we want to go with this, as we mentioned earlier, is it's far, right? Because if we're going to clear equal highs, guys, so we're expecting something huge to actually happen. So if we're expecting all that to happen, so I'm expecting this to go all the way up to here, or at least 41,000, right? 41,200. So if I'm expecting that, so 41,200, that's about 2,300 pips. So if it goes to the 4 hour, that's about if it goes all the way to 4 hour, that's about 2,800 and 280 pips. That's crazy. Still, looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. But that's what I'm seeing on a 1 hour. I mean, that's what I'm seeing on a 5 minute there. That was a 5 minute point of interest, excuse me. Oops. That was a 5 minute point of interest. Now on a 1 hour, right? 1 hour. Remember, we buy the test of the break. So we broke, we had a 1 hour point of interest here, right? We kind of already tested, like prices already tested this 1 hour. Let me buy this. Prices already tested, right? Price already tested this. So price could decide to just leave us. Ideally, I don't want that to happen. So this is just what I want to see price do for us, right? I want price to be able to just come here and just feed us, come to us, like typical come to daddy type thing, right? Price come back into at least 50%, 618. That would fall into the last down candle for the prior movement. It really makes it simple, right? We don't have to overcomplicate things. We just want to just wait for it to come. 716-886. These are all potential areas where you'd be better off securing the bag and making sure you're in this place. And your stops are very, very minimal, right? It's better you get stopped out, right? The one thing I always say is better you get stopped out, you take the loss and you're able to re-participate with smaller stop loss, better position, and a higher risk to reward idea. So that's what I see on BTC. I hope you guys loved the session tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed pre-London live analysis. Remember, the trades here shared are just what are my ideas that I see based on what I've watched on Go Live, or different educators have been able to share with us, and also bringing perspective to and tying everything together that I've learned from smart money and the Wyckoff concept as a whole. Right, and to leave you guys on this, I'm gonna leave you guys on USD CAD. This was dropped by many of us in our group chats. And we had a last up candle here, opening price of the 1 hour, wicked in, dropped. I believe by the time I dropped it, it had already dropped a little bit. So I told everyone to just potentially get back in on the 500 level, right? 500 level of that wick entry, sold off. TBs have been smashed. And so right here, I was being observant. For I believe it was a 2 hour point of interest. I was being observant for a 2 hour point of interest that was here. But because I saw this, I wasn't in favor of playing this. I was really satisfied with my gains and I came out of this. So I didn't end up taking this position here. I had a feeling this was gonna happen. Right. And that's exactly what happened. We already leaked in. We almost touched the 4 hour point of interest, mind you, like on a 4 hour, we almost touched the 4 hour point of interest, right? So we did touch the opening price, which is this, but at 50% of that, we have not quite touched the 50% of the candle. And I'm still expecting for price to seep in deeper as we touch the 2 hour institutional candle. That's really my main focus for USD CAD. I've been waiting for this for a while, famous, how I've been telling you guys buy the break. So it broke. So I'm like, when is it going to come back and give us that test, that entry there? It didn't come back, right? It didn't even make it back there yet. But we have the opportunity to participate again right here. USD CAD right here. Participation is going to be key. 18 pip stop loss, guys. It can make it here and you can miss it. By the way, it can make it all around here, you can miss it, and that's fine. But once you miss it over here and it did all this gibberish and it's mumbo jumbo, right? It did all that good jazz. Once it does this, don't miss it when it comes back and does this and this and right? And then gives you that test and goes about its business. Don't miss it when it comes back and gives you all of that, right? Definitely don't, because those ones are the pain, right? So 2-hour point of interest, perfect. I'll take it all the way to the wicks, right? If price pulls up by New York session already, if price pulls up by tomorrow morning by like 7 a.m., 8 a.m. tomorrow, just take the sell that comes into the wick here, right? If I go on a 1 hour on 30 minutes, this wick is a candle, right? So take the sell of the lower high because this point of interest is going to hit for sure, right? No guarantees, of course, but according to what I see and what the market is displaying and the strategy that we partake in with the Wyckoff and smart money concepts, that's what I'm seeing. I'm very, very confident in my trading and in my style of investigating in the marketplace, right? So right here, this week, I want to see if it's a 5-minute candle. I want to see what it is. And we can clearly see that last up candle for the down move is a beautiful 5-minute candle, right? So we can just look at it right here, last down candle for that move. And we can just draw it up and use this, right? Snipe it, right? And just look at it, guys. It's very smooth, sexy, simple. So keep an eye out for this. Is it gonna happen? Maybe, maybe not. 5-minute IC. Just means 5-minute institutional candle. IC 5-minute institutional candle. That's what it means. It just means when price gets there, it lets me know that I should potentially be looking for a sell, right, from anywhere within that position, right? Something of this nature. Stop loss above the high, right? And selling all the way down, right? So that's what price is telling me. Of course, if I go down to lower time frames, will I find better positions to enter from? Yes, I am. Even on 3 minutes, I'm seeing this last up candle here on 3 minutes, right? Before the last down candle. I'd be more in favor to, just, what, let me just back my entry up really quickly, right there, right? Put my stop loss above this high. Like I like that for me. I really like that for me right here, right? See, 26 pip stop loss, being able to jump down lower time frames, it just allows you to have more accessibility to adjusting your position and being more confident in your positions and what you're doing, right? So these moves already played out. Let me go ahead and delete all of this for you guys. This is already played out. I'm just going to delete all of this. Yes, deleted. Let's just keep this here because we were looking at that play. Right. So this also could just blow right past all. It could blow right past all this and give us also this right here, 50% of this candle, and then drop off. So that would be if we got blown out the park, I would not be surprised for this. Right, 50% of that candle drop off. Like, just keep your eye on it. Be patient and stay relative towards the market, right? Stay relative. And most importantly, stay patient, guys. Stay patient, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. Thank you for hopping on. And thank you for listening to me on this session, getting educated and taking the time and just making sure you have your charts prepared for the next morning to attack the marketplace, right? So go ahead and subscribe to my different channels. If you aren't already subscribed on it, at Ralph Mbonu, RALPHMBONU on all platforms. Love y'all, appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.